Hey, welcome to FreeBSD Channel. So this is a very quick video log. I just thought initially let me do this work because I was doing some type of changes with my FreeNAS server, which is when again I thought let me do a quick video shoot, because if you are a network admin, it is going to be quite useful. Maybe you may hit upon a scenario like this and then you need to work around. So what happens is, in my NAS storage server, I have totally 10 drives. This is something I have discussed in various episodes, but again let me do a very quick recap so that you will understand what is that context I am looking for. So I got 10 drives, and it has totally two ZFS Z2 pools. You can see here. If I go to pools, you can see here one is a big pool and the other one is a small pool. So each one have 5 disk drives. One of the pools has 1 TB drives, so I get some relative storage space. As you know, ZFS Z2, RAID Z2, it is good and ideal if you have 6 or 7 or more than that number of drives, not just 5 drives, because you lose a lot of storage space in the form of parity and stuff. But nevertheless, this gives me an option. If I configure all the 10 drives in single pool, if I need to upgrade any of these drives, or if I need to upgrade the pool overall, I need to change all the 10 drives, then I will get that upgraded storage space. So this gives that flexibility with some type of compromise. So I have a situation that I have a 2 TB drive. Currently I just plugged it to my PC. This I took, you can see here, this is a 2 TB Toshiba drive. This I took it from other Netgear NAS server. So I want to put this 2 TB drive and replace one of that 1 TB drive, but at the same time the small pool have one drive which is a 500 GB drive. You can see here in disks. You can see here one of the drive is a 500 GB drive. So essentially the small pool is a ZFS Z2 pool of 500 GB space. So rest of the drives are 1 TB drives, but as you know, it is going to pick the lowest sized drive. So essentially I'm losing a lot of storage space. So I need to just do this upgrade, because sometimes I may copy this VMs and stuff. So which is when I have a couple of ways to do this or approach this. I can put this 2 TB drive and replace this one among the 1 TB drive of this big pool, and then I have to again take that and replug into other slot. So I don't need to do that, because here with ZFS the advantage you get is you can put them in any order in SATA ports. You don't need to change anything. So which is when I thought let me do a very smart work so that it avoids that kind of situation. So what I did is, in the big pool, you can see here in the disks, I need to replace this specific drive. This is a Western Digital 1 TB drive. You can see here AJ57U, that's the serial number. So I just noted down. It is currently has this drive letter as ADA5. Okay, so I need to remove that drive, and then I need to put that drive or replace the drive in that small pool, which is this, okay, 500 GB drive, which is ADA8. Okay, so this has this serial number which ends with this NTK. So I can do physically, I can remove and fiddle around, but in case if you want to just replace as it is from this UI, it is far more better. And finally I just need to remove that 500 GB drive. I just need to yank it out and replace with this 2 TB drive, but it should be a part of big pool but not be a part of small pool. So what I did is, I went in the pools. This is something before recording I just did that. Then again later I thought let me just do a very quick record. So I went here, and in the status I have removed this. I have set this as offline. Initially it was ADA5 P2 or something like that. I just changed it to offline. So which is when you can see here it's just brought down and it is no more available. I can do replace, but I don't have any standby, nor I have any additional SATA ports in my NAS DIY build. Okay, so I did that first, and then I went here, and then in the small pool I went here and I gone here and then I did something called as replace. So currently it is replacing. You can see here I am replacing this ADA8 which is there existing earlier with this ADA5. So it is currently doing it, and it is doing this resilvering, which is when I thought, let me do this video record. Maybe you may find it quite useful. Okay, so you can see here I can check the status with this script. I can remove this. It is going to show the entire stuff, and if I do this grep, it is showing currently it is around 29% it has done. You can see here so much drive space it has resilvered, 93 GB or whatever, and still it has to do some more part of it. You can see here it's around 30% done, and more 70% it has to complete. So once this is over, what happens is it is going to replace with this 1 TB drive. This is that Western Digital 1 TB drive, which is earlier a part of big pool. So essentially I'm moving a drive from one pool to the other pool, wherein which one pool it is no more going to have that drive. So it is essentially going to show the status as degraded because it is now lacking a drive. So which is why here if you see the command line script output, you can see the big pool, it should show the status as degraded. You can see here zpool status, it shows the status degraded. This script is nothing but cat zpool status. So this is nothing but I'm just giving this set of commands. Okay, so instead of typing each time, I just created the script so that it shows whatever I want in one go. Okay, so that is what is happening. So let us just type this alone and see its current output. You can see this is offline because I have set the disk out, so that is showing the status as offline. And it since one of the disks it is no more having inside that pool, it shows the status as degraded. So this is the status of my big pool because one among the 1 TB drives is been removed. Okay, so that's what, either you can physically remove, because in my case it's a DIY build. It is not let me just pan this camera. You can see here it's just a normal PC case, so it is not any hot plug this thing as such. It's any server chassis. Okay, I don't have that luxury of taking it and putting into another slot or stuff like that, so I can't do that. So let it be there, because anyway we can do this via software. Initially I thought let me pull that drive out and then replace it and then take this 2 TB drive or do something like that. So this is the plan. As a part of that replacement, I may put this 2 TB drive which is here. The reason I connected this to this PC for now is to remove any partitions over here, because it had partitions of Linux MDADM MD RAID partition. That's what you get when you use any of these drives in a Netgear NAS. Okay, so I don't want that. So I felt before even just like that putting into this NAS server, let me remove them manually, so that let me make it blank slate. Okay, everything, let me remove all the partitions, so that once it is all done, I can shut down this PC, take the drive and then do this replacement task. And when I do the replacement, I just want to directly replace the 500 GB drive which is a part of earlier a small pool ZFS pool. Okay, so if you quickly hop on here in the stats or alerts, you can see here it is showing currently all these things. This is offline, one of the devices is being resilvered, so which is why it is showing the status. Still it is doing the same. You can see here now it is 37%. This resilvering, suddenly it gets accelerated, so I feel it is going to complete very soon, not necessary this 40 minutes or something like this. So let's just wait and see how it continues. So apart from that, it also shows the other status. So this is what the idea is. Sometime I did a quick video share long back. FreeNAS is installed in USB 3 flash drive, but sometime in the future I may install it in some M.2 SSD drive and then copy the configuration or load the configuration so that everything I get back whatever it is in this NAS server. So that is also there as a part of to-do list, but before that I thought I have some VMs and stuff like that. Currently I'm storing in a different place because I don't have adequate space in that small pool, so I need to do some kind of jugglery to get some type of shared space, so which is why it's no longer feasible after some time. You just need to put the respective stuff in the respective data share. So some of the VMs I generally maintain here. As you can see here, this is the small pool, but the problem is it's near getting over. Hope once you touch 80% of your ZFS pool, you can no longer copy any further in an optimized way. Even you will get warnings and alerts from FreeNAS saying that it is not optimal to store beyond 80%. So that is why it is like a ticking time bomb, and I just need to take this action sooner or later. So this is what. Okay, so let's just do a very quick check. You can see it's around 40% done. So we just wait and see how it is going to complete this task. So once it is completed, I don't want this entries to be shown. Ideally, if you go here and status, this should vanish. Okay, so that's what I'm waiting over here. You can see here it is showing the status as Resilver. The problem with the UI is it is not going to show any percentage of work done and stuff. So it is fine if you have this type of servers in a data center or some type of rack or something like that, where you can just leave it and then go for lunch or something, and then or a break, snack, okay, whatever it is, go for a coffee break or whatever, you can come back and see that it will be done. But in this case, at home, sometimes you may not have adequate power backup and something can go wrong, and we just need to have anything like this which is a pending task. It should be completed in a stipulated time. So we cannot have that luxury like a data center or something like that. So which is why I need to see the percentage. So it's just in case if you are not aware of that, you can use commands like this and get the status. Okay. Yeah, you can see it is 42% done. Maybe I can be in touch with FreeNAS guys and I may kind of put this in a requested features or whatever. So I do tend to sometimes submit any bug reports and stuff like that. Earlier I have submitted even some bug on UI which they have fixed in this new release. Okay, so this as well, sometime I may kind of request them so that it will be nice if it shows some percentage of Resilver status. Okay, so this is what. So the other whatever the bug they fixed, I just took a very quick video about the same, about upgrade of FreeNAS from U2 to U3 or whatever. Okay, let's just hop on here. The last episode I took for FreeBSD Channel is about that. So you can see here 11.2 U2 to 11.2 U3. So with this it also fixes some bug and other stuff. So I did a very quick casual video about the same, not just upgrade alone. I'm also cross checking whether they have fixed that bug which I have reported. Okay, so in this situation we just need to wait and see. Let me just stop this video capture and we can get back once it is about to be complete or it is completed. Okay, so after a while we are back. It is still doing the same. You can see here it has completed around 72%. It is just 30% more it is remaining. Maybe it may take 15 minutes or so. Okay, so meanwhile what I have done is I just did this slides so that it is quite easy to understand essentially what we are trying to achieve, because this is what is the overall objective. So let me just zoom this out so that we can walk through. So you can see here, this is the scenario. I have two pools, ZFS pools in the same server. One is a big pool and small pool. All these drives are 1 TB except one drive in small pool is 500 GB, and also a couple of drives in that small pool are old laptop 1 TB drives. Okay, so sometime in the future I can replace that with some SSD or something like that, and moreover it doesn't have much space in this case, so I can't put a regular desktop drive in the place of those two small laptop drives. So I need to do some workaround in the future in case if I need to replace them or upgrade them. Okay, so this is the scenario. In this, let's assume this is that 500 GB drive, and this is that 2 TB drive which is currently connected in this PC. So I can push this, and I don't want to replace this 500 GB in this small pool because I may not store much stuff in this, and I know that this is going to be used for what type of purpose versus this big pool. So in that case, I need to replace one of the drives of big pool with this 2 TB drive, which means 1 TB drive I have to replace with this 2 TB drive. So which is why what I have done is, first time I just set one of the drive as offline. I set it as offline so that once it is done, it shows as degraded because it doesn't have any more that redundant drives. So since it's a Z2 pool, it needs at least 2 redundant drives along with the other drives. So I mean to say the parity drives and then the other data drives. So anyway, so because of that it shows degraded since it doesn't have one of the drives of that specific pool. So once it is done, the next step what I did is I did this replace, so that I can replace this 1 TB drive which is pulled out of that big pool, and I can replace with this one of the drives of that small pool, and that drive is that 500 GB drive. So we are replacing essentially the 500 GB drive with that 1 TB drive. So this is what it is. And then the next step is once it is all done and once resilvering is over, I can shut down this PC, take that 2 TB drive and then replace that 500 GB drive, and then I can do this replace operation. So with that it should be done. So I think I have done some typo error, so let me just delete the same. So this is the overall idea. So even before I do this, I need to do this, and I need to complete this, and it should report that everything is successful, and once again the data or the pool is redundant. So once it is over, then I can continue and directly remove the 500 GB drive and then replace with this 2 TB drive. So this is why it is quite cumbersome. See, I cannot just like that go here and then replace that 500 GB drive because it is a part of different pool, and I don't want to upgrade that small pool with this 2 TB hard drive. So that is why I need to go through all the steps. See, this is a scenario, me being worked as an admin long back, although I work currently as a core system software architect or network and protocol architect, whatever. So I seen when I work as a admin, these are various scenarios. You need to touch the live production system, and you cannot take chances that something can go wrong. Of course, we will have some backup of our data and stuff like that, but still, whenever you do anything with the live production system, so you need to be quite cautious. Okay, I feel this video is quite useful because you may hit upon some scenario like this. Okay, so that's all. So we are back. It is about to complete this resilvering. You can see here it's just a few seconds to go. Meanwhile, while it is doing the same, I removed the drive. As you can see, this is the 2 TB Toshiba drive, and you can see the drive is no longer available in that PC. It has that PC's hard disk, which is a 3 TB Western Digital Blue drive. So that's what. Before it completes, we can also monitor the status. You can see here the total free space and the used space for this small pool is reported so and so, and we are about to complete this resilvering. So I'm curious that how it updates the same. Okay, let us see just after it completes what it is going to do. Okay, So let me remove this filter grep done, and we see that how it is going to change this interface. See, this is not something often you people do, okay, once in a while, rarely you may do, and in case if there is any drive failure, you may do that, okay. So sometimes when it is a drive failure, you may not get a chance to see this updated storage space. So yep, I think it is completed. You can see here it is not reporting any errors, and it has totally resilvered 314 GBs of data, and it is all intact and it is online. It is not showing any degraded status. So let us just refresh this page. Yep, you can see here it has updated, and it shows now total available space a bit more. And also the total used space is just 35%, unlike earlier, which is around 69 or something like that, okay. So this is what, so this is all over successfully. And sometimes I do get a mail about this disk management. I do recommend whenever you do such things, okay, see, in this case I need to touch this drive and this drive. What you do is sometimes you can take a screenshot, or else you can even note it down on a piece of paper that so and so is the drive letter, like ADA5, and that serial number, and the other drive letter and the serial number, so that you can do without any mistakes, because all of them looks identical, and whenever you do such tasks, it is quite common to get anything wrong, okay. So which is why first I noted down that this is something I am replacing from one pool to other pool, versus this is the drive letter which I need to yank it out, okay. So this is the old 500 GB drive which I don't want in the NAS server anymore, okay. So this is what. So now if I replace technically this drive with this 2 TB drive, it is still going to be just available as a standby drive, and I need to make it as a part of that big pool. Okay, as you can see here, this is the drive which we just replaced. So this is earlier a part of a big pool. We moved it to the small pool. So the small pool contains all drives now equal to 1 TB space, and these are a couple of drives which I was mentioning. So they are just tucked beneath this fan. They are old laptop drives. So you can see they are just very small laptop drives. So two of them are crammed in this space. They are just crammed in the space. So if I get a chance to replace them, I need to replace only with this laptop drive 2.5-inch form factor. I cannot put a regular one, and this case doesn't have any more space. You can see here I have just used up all the space. I am using these adapters so that I can fit in this DVD or CD drive base with a regular desktop hard drive. You can see here. So this is the drive which I am supposed to replace. So this is the 500 GB drive which is earlier a part of small pool. So before I replace this, I need to make one of these drives, whichever contains the label, it is a part of a big pool. Whichever doesn't have any label, it's a part of small pool. So this is a part of big pool. So I thought maybe I need to physically remove this and insert it over here and stuff like that, but we don't need anything like that, because as you know, ZFS pool doesn't matter which order the SATA ports are connected. It doesn't matter. In case if I want, say for instance, this I took it temporarily because that's what is available in Amazon for that sort of a price, and if I get in future a SATA card, PCIe SATA card with 4 ports, I can just replace these 2 cards with a single card, and I can do any kind of combination. Okay, so that's the main advantage of using a ZFS pool. Let it be within FreeNAS or let it be within Ubuntu, whatever. Okay, so this is what. So now technically this is a part of small pool, and I just have to remove this. Removing this is quite cumbersome. I need to remove this front bezel. The front bezel looks more like a very basic desktop. I don't want any gaming PC case or anything. We are not doing anything like that. This is a server, and this is not any enthusiastic build or anything. I just want to keep it professional, and I just left this wrapper also so that it is not getting any dust or anything within this these small gaps. Okay, so that's what I need to remove this, and then I need to remove all the screws of this adapter mount, and then I need to do the same thing over that side as well, and I need to remove the tray, and I need to replace with this 2 TB drive, and then I need to do this replace in the FreeNAS UI, so that it will be a part of a big pool. Although I replace this with a 2 TB drive, it is not going to change any pool. It is not going to add any additional space in the pool, because you have to change all the drives as well. So along with this, I need to change this and as well as this. So all the drives I need to change unless I'm not going to get any extra space. But anyway, I don't have a need, but currently this 2 TB drive is lying around, and I feel it is a good time to start doing this change. So once I do this, probably in the future I may swap this drive with a 4 TB drive, and this with a 4 TB drive, and this with a 4 TB drive, and so on. And after that, I can finally replace this 2 TB drive with a 4 TB drive, maybe after a couple of years, but not now. Okay. So here is the server, everything is put back together. I thought of not recording this segment because it is going to take some time, but again I am glad that it went well. So you can see here I am currently pinging it. It is booted and ready. So we can go into the FreeNAS UI. So it will take some time, because since it's a USB boot, often it takes some time to boot. Yeah, we are in, and you should able to see the disks, and we should able to see the new drive. Yeah, looks like this is the new one. This is that Toshiba drive. You can see it as not having these settings which the other drives have. Okay, so we can restore those settings if we want. So we can go here and we can tell, we can edit, and we can just standby mode is 5 and enable smart, etc. Save. Is that anything is changed? Advanced power management, we can enable that, and acoustic level is medium, so we can change those settings as well. Acoustic power management medium. Yeah, acoustic level is medium, and advanced power management is spin down, whatever. So let us say it matches the settings. Okay, so it is fine. We can put any description if we want. I can just add this description, edit. In the description we can say Toshiba 2 TB. It's a Toshiba 2 TB desktop drive. It's not a NAS drive, so we can set the same. Looks like it is good. So we can go back to the pools, and we can see here it is showing the status as degraded, versus this small pool after the resilvering it is showing the status as healthy. Okay, so we can go here and status, and we can say here currently it is showing this slot as offline. Okay, and we can say replace, and it should technically show that drive. And before you enable and do any goof up, you can again go to the disks, and note it down that this is ADA8, that's the drive letter. Okay, so ADA8, so we are good to go. We can go back once again and go here status, and we can replace this with this membered disk as ADA8 and mention force and replace disk. So with that, I believe it is going to start that resilvering. So it is not that intuitive, like I mentioned before. The resilvering status, whatever, it is not going to update in the UA. So we can go back once again here, and we can log in the command prompt, and it is in MNT Titan as big pool utilities. So here I have some of these scripts. I can mention this cat zpool status. We copy this line, and if you give that, you can see here it shows as degraded, and it is showing the status as replacing. Okay, and also it is going to show shortly this resilvering status. So we can just do grep done, because this line has this string. Okay, we can use that signature to search the line which we need. Okay, so we can do the same. You can see here, since it's a pool which has already a lot of data, it is showing around 2.5 hours to go. So one of the main advantages with ZFS versus something like unraid or something is when it does any job like this, you can, in case if there is any emergency, you need to shut down the server, you can very well do the same. And in case if there is any power failure, especially it happens in India, and I don't have any extensive UPS other than a very basic UPS. Okay, so if there is any power failure or something, I can as well shut the system down, and once the power comes, I can restore this resilvering process. So this is as extensively I have tried and tested with my VM setup, a test VM setup. So I know that it reliably works. So it is what something I cannot able to recreate with unraid storage test system. Whatever I have done, I did some test rig with the laptop with some SD cards and stuff, but I cannot able to get it done something like what it can be doable with ZFS. In ZFS you can restore resilvering whichever way you want, versus in unraid it will do once again from the beginning, and it is going to cost a lot of time. Okay, so this is what. Yep, you can see it has completed around 2.5%, and I believe like what we have done for that small pool, it is going to finish, and then it is going to update the UA as well. So here it shows scanning, and if we go back, it may show the status here as scanning whatever it is. So it is doing this resilvering process. So as you can see, it is showing here resilvering. In the case of the old small pool, if we go back, status, it is no longer going to show. Okay, so this is what, versus in the case of big pool, it is showing that status as replacing. So this is what. So it is good to go. Although I have just upgraded this 1 TB drive with 2 TB drive, I'm not going to get any additional space, unlike what I have got in small pool, because there it is just that old 500 GB alone is a small drive. So once it is replaced, so this is the drive, once this Seagate drive is replaced, instantly I got the additional space. Okay, so that's why I got a lot of additional free space, because the rest of the drives are all 1 TB drives, so it is quite fine with that. But in this case, it's just I just need to repurpose this 2 TB drive, and that's about it. So sometime in the future, the rest 4 slots I may upgrade with 4 TB drives like I mentioned before, and then finally I may even replace this 2 TB drive. Okay, so that is not an emergency as of now. I don't have any need at this point of time, and moreover, it has some data, my VM backups and other stuff temporarily stored in this big pool, which is not supposed to be there. Instead, it has to be kept in small pool. So once those things are taken out from this folder like utilities or something, it is going to further free up some space. Okay, so it is not a big deal, and somewhere here and there some of the VM backups or snapshots are even stored in this folder like movies. Here and there it is spread across because it doesn't have that enough space. So now I don't have to do the same. I can copy in this VMs folder, and I can use this small pool for its to its full potential. Okay, so that's what. Yep, it is doing the same. I don't have to worry anymore. So this is kind of successful. So if I wait for next 1 hour or so, you can see it is doing quite fast. Unlike that small pool, it is quite fast. Earlier it reported around 2 hours or 3 hours, and now it has drastically reduced. I think it is just going to take around 1 hour or 40 minutes, and it is going to finish this resilvering. Okay. So that's about it. In case if you have anything to discuss, be in touch via mail. This is often, you may hit upon as a system admin or a network admin whenever you deal with any storage servers, and your case, you may be working on a huge production servers, and you need to see various scenarios like this so that you can come up with a proper action plan like I discussed before, so that you can come with a plan, and then you can evaluate the risk, and then you can execute step by step without any blunders. Okay, so in case anything to discuss, be in touch via mail. Thanks a lot for joining me. Stay tuned. Have a nice day. Bye bye.